we won't keep any of that from happening. So, Joe, if you want to get started, please.
Do I need to do the whole introduction thing again? Who I am? Okay.
Yeah, we
My
need
name
to-
is Joe Canfield. I am owner of Yoga Joe's Studio in North Ogden and a member of the Northview Business Association. As a business owner and a member of the Northview Business Association, I want to thank the council for convening this special meeting to review the advertising ordinances. In the spirit of supporting the vision of North Ogden's business corridor plan, we are here to work with you as a team to develop the best possible solution for the city, the business owners, and the community. Our goal for this evening is to open the dialogue in a constructive and informative manner that leads to a viable solution for us all. We appreciate that the city and many of its citizens wish to maintain this area as a bedroom community. This discussion is really only about the business corridor along Washington and 2700 North. Do not infringe on the residential district. For our community to stay healthy, we require that the hundreds of micro and small businesses that exist along Washington Boulevard thrive. Safety for the consumer. When signage is inadequate or too small, people struggle to find a business which creates a potential driving accident.
Hi, I'm Sean Maynard. I own Bullfrog Spas in Canada. I have a
Sean, will you talk right into that?
I have a PowerPoint presentation with some slides and other examples. And I guess this will be it. Okay, so my presentation is on the display of products outside. So I'm showing here the actual code that addresses this issue. In bold, all businesses shall be conducted wholly within an enclosed building. And then it gives an exception for the sale of gasoline and oil by service stations, parking of automobiles, service to persons in automobiles. Basically, the quote from the Planning Commission was, if it happens outside of the building because the business exists, i.e. if the business weren't there, would this thing be happening? It looks like lots of the businesses in the city are not in compliance with this code, and they recommended that we revisit the code. That was a little over a year ago now. Outside eating. We talked about this at the last council meeting, and we all assumed that it was okay, but there it is plain as day saying nothing can happen outside. Vending machines, newspaper racks, even shopping carts, firewood, tires, salt, patio furniture, miscellaneous sidewalk sales. Oh yeah, and don't forget the hot tubs. I have some other examples. Possibly keep them out. Big Boys Toys, obviously every day they roll out all their product, and that's a huge part of how they do business. They would probably not come to North Ogden if this wasn't a possibility for them. Tough Shed, it'd be really hard for them to operate a business in North Ogden, I suspect. Granite Store, obviously they have the. We're kind of saying we don't want any of those businesses here if that's the role we're going to have. So there are some practical reasons for displaying product outside. So this is purely on a practical means. Items that are dirty or smell, like rental equipment or firewood, mulch, tires, and things that facilitate the shopping experience, like shopping carts. We all accept those, but if it happens because the business is there, then it's not allowed. And, well, that's a shopping cart. And of course, that I happen to know a lot about, so I'm going to use that as my example. Currently, the hot tub industry around the nation is down nearly 60%. Really, but because of the display outside of our store. They or someone they know saw it and knew there was a hot tub store and referred them to us because of that. Another 30% of our customers. So we have to ask ourselves, why does this regulation exist? It's never specifically stated in the regulation, but it seems pretty clear that the overriding theme is not to protect the safety of its citizens, but to protect the perceived attractiveness of the business district. Many of the ordinances, I think, are for that purpose, and we should probably admit that. So what is the cost of the ordinances? The real cost of the regulation is potential diminished opportunity for a business to successfully market a business district. Here's some examples of, go ahead and just thumb through them, of stores that are closed nearby that we all recognize and their products for wear, and that's how people knew where to find them. They didn't spend 30% of their profit on advertising. They put their stuff out, you people drove by and saw it, and that's,
Ms. Jones of Jones Shirts and Signs gives a presentation on size and placement of signage. Can't get my words out tonight, sorry about that.
Okay, I'm Denise Jones, Jones Shirts and Signs. Guess I needed to ask for a place to put some signs up. But these are, okay, I belong to the International Sign Association. This is published and put out by them. It is a guide for property appraisers, brokers, legal professionals, sign users, and municipal planners. If you would like to borrow this book, or if you'd like me to get you a copy, I'll do that. It's very, very informative. It goes into all kinds of details. I've just pulled out some parts of it. On this first one, the other one behind that, on the top chart, it's showing a survey that was done in California. Well, I'll just read this down so everybody else can hear. Even in the most demographically stable area, at least 30% of trade is likely to be generated by out-of-area consumers. And you've got word of mouth at 33 and on down after that. These results clearly demonstrate two things. The subject signs are effectively speaking to or being read by potential customers. And signs are the most effective form of advertising for the small independent merchant. And then the next part that I've got is about the effectiveness of a restrictive sign code on the market share. With the size of signs that we're allowed within North Ogden, urban community little shopping areas, and it works really good for these small little signs that you put on the freestanding signs there. Those are very small. Like ours are even probably maybe 15 inches. Some of them aren't even quite that tall, what each business is allowed. And they found out in studies done that those are great, those small little signs are a great thing if you are a branded company. If you are selling like a name brand, if you're a franchise owner, those work great because people look at it, they recognize it, they've got you right there, they know you're right there. If you are a small independent business, which most of us are, it's not going to happen because people aren't going to recognize you. They might see your name. It's probably not big enough to see. And then they aren't going to recognize going 55 on the bottom one. If you're see, our speed limit isn't exactly on there because we're 50 miles an hour through most of the business district. But if you're going between 45 and 55, your letters to be recognized as they're driving by need to be 12 to 15 inches high. The other page is the example of a 15-inch high letter. Now, we can't all have business letters that size. We'd like to be able to have the speed limit lower, but we need something kind of in between. We need to be able to put our name out there so that people can see us. The size of sign that we're given is not big enough. We don't need to put out every detail. We don't need to put our phone number on them, but we need to at least be able to put our business name in a readable area.